I found myself on the ground, and I didn't even really have pain. I just knew there had been something that had so bad or so dramatic that had happened.
It was a 4th of July celebration that ended in chaos and would take him on a journey from darkness into light. Thousands of people lose their eyes in fireworks accidents or with BB guns every single year. Despite the tragedy, the majority still go on to lead productive lives. It is a lesson our friend and colleague Dave Rexroth quickly learned and is now sharing with others, including his young sons who were there when a fireworks accident took out his left eye. In a flash, Dave Rexroth's life was changed forever. It was a freak fireworks accident on the 4th of July on his family's farm in Iowa.
He said that the mortar went up into his eye, into his face, and then deflected.
That misfire left a laceration that was 4 centimeters long. The hardest part, 2 of his sons witnessed it all.
I heard screaming, so then I started screaming up to the house, and then I saw my dad on the ground, so then I knew something was bad.
Andrew was there holding me, and you always want to be there for your kids, and you don't want to put that on them to be there for you.
I was just kind of trying to not break down and kind of be like that rock, I guess, just kind of being so that I could just help everyone, and then they could go their own way, and then I could just deal with it later.
Once the emergency crew got him to the hospital, Dave had to come to grips with losing his eye.
He told me it's never going to work. We're going to take it out because your body will attack it. It was interesting that once I knew whatever was done, it was time to move on. That's when I felt the best.
Within weeks, Dave returned here to Michigan with this patch as they created his prosthetic eye in Iowa.
I have motion in my eye, but sometimes if I get too extreme or give you a weird glance, I can look a little goofy. That doesn't bother me, but it's something I'm wearing on TV. And no matter what happens, you put things back together. And a pastor that I talked with that evening of the day they took my eye out, he posed the question, he just sat there, and I understood. His point was, okay, you're going to sit there and wallow in it? Are you going to make this work? Are you going to move forward? Are you going to be there for your kids? Are you going to live a full life?
His wife Debbie has been his rock, listening and carrying the weight of the family.
I also say now more than I ever did before, things like, that does stink. I'm sorry. I mean, I can't make it better. It does stink, and I'm here with you, and we'll figure it out.
Living one-sided has been challenging.
I get scared sometimes when people approach from the left-hand side. I lose that whole left side for my field of vision.
And still the most difficult part for Dave is when he wakes each and every morning and realizes after sleeping his left eye is gone.
For that first second or two, I feel great. And then I open my eyes and I only see out of one. And for the next 2 seconds or so, I feel bad about what's happened and the permanency and the fact that it's never going to change.
It's been a journey. Dave says he's had to learn to be more patient, to accept help, and the realization his eye loss is permanent. Fortunately, with time comes healing, both emotionally and physically.
He's exactly the same person. He hasn't changed a bit. He's still funny, humorous, cracks jokes. He still tries to beat me up.
His doctors are concerned if he gets hit hard, there could be retinal damage. So his coaching days are over, and he's cautious with his teenage boys' roughhousing.
He wears goggles and stuff when he plays with us, just to be extra careful. But personality-wise, and he's still the same dad.
For sure, the message is protective eyewear.
Through it all, Dave has had to learn losing his eye is tragic, but life goes on.
Being single-sided is a fully functioning life, and you'll be surprised at how many people you run into and come to you and tell you about their situation, and that's been great.
So many of you have reached out to tell Dave you or loved one has lost an eye and that life will get better. His son John even used his dad's story in his college essay.
I wrote about how my dad's still the same goofball, but then sort of like how he used to take care of me, but now sort of I take care of him, helping him pour orange juice into his glass.
The simple message is you never give up. The human spirit is so strong, and you can get through almost everything. Is to never, ever, ever give up.
We thank John Cellino for editing that beautiful story. Davis said he never wants to be the poster child against fireworks, but he has made his own sons promise to never touch fireworks again. For others, he simply wants you to know his doctors say had he worn protective goggles, he would still have his left eye. So we love you. We're glad you're here. Glad you're on the mend.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate you doing that, Carolyn. And my wife said the other day, do you really want to go through all this again? And the doctors that helped me so much came to me and said, you can be a person who lets other people know about the protective eyewear, about what to do, what not to do. But also the message is, what are you going to do? You got to move forward.
Move on, yeah.
And you've got to move on not only for other people in your life, in my case, my family, but you got to move on for yourself too. So strength comes from a lot of people that you saw there in that piece, from faith and from love and from people like you that have reached out to me. I just want to tell you real quickly, I talked about those first few seconds.
Right.
When you open your eyes
When
every
you open your eye, and
morning.
it's so exciting, and then it's such a downer, but only for a brief second, and then the 5th second, and the 6th second, the next minute, the next hour, and hopefully the next days and years to come are so exciting and filled with possibilities. That's why you keep marching on. You never give up.
And you keep sharing and to inspire
Well,
others.
in this story, I think you will save somebody's eyes.